Good morning, Groovers, from a very foggy morning in Tasmania. Although the sun's fairly high up in the sky now and it's dissipating really quickly, but it was so thick I couldn't actually see my neighbour's house. You can see off in the distance. I went to the gym and got home and it was so thick, and I'm like, oh, I've got to go for a beach walk in this. This will be so cool. But it's already starting to dissipate as the day warms up. So it's still pretty thick in the valley. Um, but unfortunately now I can even see the beach, because I was thinking, oh, let's go for a beach walk in this, see if we can actually see more than 3 steps in front. Hey, Karen. Pardon me, just clearing my throat. Hey, Scout, where have you been? Hello. Oh, wow, that's creepy. It is Trixie. I've made a little cuppa to take with me for a walk. But I'm bummed because, I mean, you can see the beach through there now, whereas before you couldn't. It was so dense. Hey, Cody. And I thought, oh, let's go to the beach and see if we can even see, let's walk through the dunes. It'll be so creepy. But in typical Tassie fashion, the weather can change in a matter of minutes. I mean, I'm glad there's still a little bit of it. But yeah, it's thicker in the valley through there. I can normally see way through the valley to mountains and hills on the other side. Oh, you went to Jersey Shore. Cool. 87 Fahrenheit. Okay, what's that? It's pretty warm, isn't it? But yeah, sadly, looking down this way now, I can see blue sky, I can see the beach, whereas when I got home, barely could see beyond this fence. So bugger, I missed it again. What's the story of my life? I want to take you groovers on adventures, and then like the other day when we went to Bonnarong, all the animals they just didn't give a fuck. Um, this morning I'm like, oh, that tree's got a massive cobweb thing happening up the top. That's creepy too. Spider tree does whatever a spider tree does. Oh no, you've been sick. The virus, as in coronavirus and shingles. Oh my God. Are you on the men's scout? How horrible. I don't know what it's like to have the virus, but I do know what it's like to have shingles. See, look, the mist is completely dissipating now because of the sun. God damn it. But that tree is so creepy. I might ask my gardener to. That tree is just like a spider tree. There's so many webs on the top of it. Looks like I've decorated for Halloween, and we don't do that here. Oh my God, you poor thing. It's been a rough day in the drama community. Oh, well, you can fill me in. What was going to be a little stroll on the beach in this fog is quickly becoming a clear sky. I'm blighting your day. I suspect that's autocorrect. You are a blight on my day. My day was shit already, and you came along and blighted it. Are you on the mend though, Scout? Just grabbing my cuppa. Little keep cup. Let's go. So yeah, I can't believe it, man. Honestly, the fog has cleared in like 5 minutes. I mean, it was sort of dissipating when I went live, but there was still enough. I mean, there's still some down in the valley, but it was thick, like it was pea soup thick. Frightening. Bugger. It's just going to be another walk on the beach. I mean, you can see it there, but over this way, look, blue sky, the fog. Blue sky, the fog. I mean, look at the fog that way. But then this way, blue sky. It's typical traces of nuts. I promise you something. If there's a bit of fog ahead, but it looks pretty clear on the screen. It cleared for me. Let's look at it that way. I mean, you can see down there on the beach, there's still fog over the water. You needed this, Scout. Awesome. Let's have a lovely walk. Morning. See, that's kind of cool. That's the edge of the fog, and it's still over the water in places. And it is moving, so, we may get a bit of fog action. But if I hadn't have gone to the gym, yeah, I deliberately did that, Trixie. The fog. Ooh. Do you know that is the scariest Stephen King? And it's actually a short story. Or is it The Mist? What's the one he wrote? No, it's The Fog. And it's in a book of short stories that he wrote. And it's about a town where the fog comes in and heaps of people end up trying to take shelter in a supermarket. And there are people driving and, crashing into trees and listening to stuff on the radio, and then all the radios go dead. And there's this horrible sort of creature that's in the fog that's killing everybody, and it gets into the supermarket. Oh my God, it is such a scary book or story. See, I thought we could go on the bluff and look at the beach completely covered in fog, but I don't know if that's going to be worth it. It was like it yesterday at the beach because the ocean's still cold. Yeah, it is definitely, because it was a really cold morning, but we're actually, I don't know, it's not cold now. I'm like wearing a little sweatshirt with a long sleeve T-shirt underneath, and it's quite a fine one, like it's an Old Navy one, for those of you who know the brand Old Navy. Like, it's not super thick fabric. It's good quality, but it's not thick. And I almost feel a little bit warm. Let's just go on the beach and let's just be fog chasers. We'll go wherever the fog leads us. But I thought how cool too to go down through the dunes, all foggy and creepy. It's turned into a beautiful sunny day. Yeah, it is a bit cool, isn't it? It's sort of half fog, half blue skies. It's kind of pretty. But I wanted to go on a creepy walk. And we could tell creepy stories, even though it's 9:30 in the morning here. But instead it's kind of turning into grey skies are gonna clear up. Oh, happy face. You met a nice lady, Australian lady in Old Navy in New York City. There you go. Yeah, there was a shop here over summer that had a huge amount of Old Navy stuff. I think they're kind of a discount shop. They've got a bit of everything. They're called shiploads. So guess what the locals call it? Shitloads, of course. Some nice waves happening. It's pretty beautiful down on the beach. But they must have bought like this huge shipment of Old Navy stuff that hadn't sold in the States, because we usually can't buy it here. And I was doing a bit of Christmas shopping, and I went there to get a few sort of joke presents, because, they sell Santa Claus G-strings for men and all sorts of weird shit. And we have a bit of a joke Christmas theme sometimes with some of my friends. Well, not sometimes, always. We do like Santa sacks just full of ridiculous shit. Total waste of money, because really, although one year the boys did put on the G-strings, it was pretty hilarious. They were not covering much, put it that way. But I saw all these tubs of clothing and I was like, oh, and everything was $5 or $10. I'm like, what's this? It was all Old Navy stuff. And I don't know how many Tasmanians know about Old Navy, but I was like, oh my God. So I got a dress and a jumper and a tank top and a T-shirt, and the top I've got on for like $30 or $40. It's cheaper than Gap. Same company. Ah, it's a cheaper cab. There you go. Your son worked there for 10 years. There you go. See, look at me. I'm walking on a beach in Tasmania in an Old Navy top, and your son worked there on the other side of the world. Isn't that fascinating? See, the world's not that big a place. But yeah, we've got a lovely clear morning, which might be good. Now, I saw a comment, DC is creepy. What's going on? You have to tell me, because I'm just a peripheral observer. Although I did listen this morning, I did listen at the gym to a couple of channels, and I went from one to the other to see the full story. And there was a lot of stuff being said on one of them that I knew was not correct. And once again, all the people in the chat were like, oh my God, that's horrible. How could that person have done that? They just believed it. They didn't go to the source, which I did. And I already knew the story, and I knew that this person had been wrongly accused of saying something that they hadn't. It's been proven over and over. And in fact, somebody who actually got it wrong apologised for getting it wrong. But weeks later, that person is still being accused of saying something which was bad, but they didn't say it. And now there's a whole new heap of people that were in that chat yesterday or the day before, or whenever the fuck it was, who listened to a chick on panel say it, and it's not correct. And like I said, it's been proven. Hello, beautiful. So beautiful down here, guys. Look. Got a huge pile of shells that have washed up overnight. It would have been really rugged down here overnight. Lots of rain by the looks of it. And, you can see, though, looking across the bay, we can normally see to the other side and see where my sister lives, and not completely covered in. So they've still got the fog. God, that sun's hot. I'm hiding my sweatshirt. Oh, am I being too cryptic for you? Do I go into detail and name channels to make it more obvious? Let's go down this way and look at the surfers. And there's fog in this direction, whereas this direction, it's just another glorious sunny morning on the beach. Are you talking about Laura's? No. About TT? No. Yeah, where my sister is. I mean, she's not at home, she's at work. Oh, but it's just starting to dissipate now. I'm starting to see houses on the hill on the other side, right at the end of the bluff, where the point of the bluff is. Beyond that, I can see houses are starting to show on the other side. Oh, well, I suppose it's a bit quirky. God, it must have been rough as guts last night. Look at all the stuff that's washed up. All the sea plants, whatever the fuck they're called. Oh, and you're welcome, Scout. You deserve the wrench. I actually thought you had one, so I was a bit surprised you didn't. Because I've dipped my toes in the drama community a bit, I just want to make sure that I've got enough mods. And now that I'm over 1,000 subs, not that I get, 100 people watching, but it's still, worth having a few more mods. But yeah, look at these big mounds of shells. Hey, Kim Smith. So, Scout, with your little bling, the same rules apply. Any sort of racist hate speech that can go, and anyone that comes in and is ripping me to shreds, or a panelist to shreds, or fighting with somebody in chat, time them out. The hate speech people, just block them. Don't need them here. Funny trolls are welcome, as you know. And other than that, you don't really need to do much at all. if somebody is not getting a joke and it's a joke, or if you're not sure, just leave it, because we had a guy that got timed out a lot a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't realise he was being timed out till I watched the replay. But he was being timed out because people didn't get his humour, and that's not reason. If you don't get some humour, if you can see people getting a bit upset, let the person who cracked the joke explain it or apologise or whatever. It is beautiful, Kim Smith. I've actually taken my shoes off. Oh, my God. Okay, that was the first bit of water. Okay, it's a little bit brisk. I've got one of your daughter's scrunchies in my hair today, the yellow one, because my little Old Navy top that I was talking about is yellow. I'm matchy-matchy. I'm happy I got over 1,000 too. It's fun. I don't think I've got my community page yet. I haven't checked. I worked my butt off for the last 3 days. I'm kind of out of the loop. But no, okay, let's talk about the stuff I listened to this morning. It was Makeup Mobster versus Lovers Inc. And I'm not trans, and a lot of people would say that automatically disqualifies me for weighing in on this argument. Mallory did actually make a point about when people say, I've got a friend who's trans, they feel qualified to comment, and I understand that point of view. However, I do have a trans goddaughter, and I've seen what she's been through, and I do have direct experience. Well, not direct, indirect, but through what Georgie has been through. I do understand what the trans community goes through, and I'm certainly not planning on becoming a mouthpiece, but there were a few things that Makeup Mobster said that were just downright wrong. And they're the kind of comments that are problematic, because when Georgie told her parents at the age of 3 that she didn't want a penis and she knew that she was a girl, people weren't openly talking about trans issues. And Georgie's now 20, but it's a conversation that's been happening in Australia for a long time, and Georgie's a huge part of that, because she and her parents took on the family court when she was trying to get puberty blockers. They had to apply to the family court to get an order for her to access this medication that essentially would have changed her life if she hadn't been able to get to it. Like if she'd started going into puberty and got an Adam's apple and all of that sort of stuff. So they had to do 2 appeals to the family court to get orders for her to access these puberty blockers, which they did get. But she also became a very passionate advocate for trans issues in Australia, and as a result ended up being Young Victorian of the Year, which is a state of Australia for non-Australians. It's where Melbourne is. That's the state of Victoria. So Georgie was Young Victorian of the Year because essentially she and her mum and dad brought about legislative changes to make these medicines readily accessible, or not readily, but less tricky to get to. She's also now got what's called in Australia an OAM. It's an Order of Australia medal. It's kind of like one of the biggest honours you can have bestowed upon you. And most people that get OAMs get them at the end of their lifetime, you know, for a lifetime of service to the community, or for their achievements in sport or entertainment or science, politics, whatever it might be. And before she was even 20, she was given an OAM. Oh, no worries, Kim Smith. I'll always mention the scrunchies. It was a few days ago. I told you I'm out of the loop, Veruca. Oh, look at you all connecting in chat. This is why this community is the best. We have the best little community. There's people that have been around for a long time, like Kim Smith, who a lot of you probably haven't even met yet because you're newer to the channel. And there's even people that have been here for a while who still may not have met Kim because Kim's been around for a long time. I love how you all gather. So, yeah, her name is Georgie Stone. Her mum, Beck, is my best friend from when we were at school. They moved to Melbourne years ago when she married. She married a Melbourne actor and they had twins. And Beck actually wrote a book about Georgie called About a Girl. But yeah, trans discussions and conversations are openly happening now. But back when Georgie at age 3 told her mum and dad that she was a girl, it wasn't a conversation that people were having. Like, we've come a long way. But after listening to some of the things Makeup Mobster said, we still have a long way to go. And I don't want to get into the actual fight and what went on there, but I couldn't listen to her for very long. I used to think she was the voice of reason, and now I listen to her and go, was I on really good drugs at the time? And I wasn't. I'll give her credit where it's due. I think there were times that she was actually really reasonable or expressed a point of view that was refreshing and a bit different to what other people were saying, and she had some good things to say. But in recent times, I haven't seen much of her. But the trans issue I'm interested in because of my connection to Georgie, and I apologise to Mallory if you think that I'm out of line talking about it, but I've been advocating passionately for trans rights in Australia because of my connection with Georgie, and I feel like to not say something would be remiss of me. I can't be advocating for it, in 1 minute and then in the next minute hearing something that makes my blood boil and not saying anything about it. Oh, Scout, you posted Sonny's Instagram. Lover is my girl. I love her. I'm not trans, but masculine lesbian. While I was in college, I ran a counselling group for trans guys, helping them through the transition. Good on you, Veruca. And see you, I mean, we might do a panel one day. I don't know if you're a panel kind of person, but your experience, I've got some masculine lesbian friends as well, and I've got some lipstick lesbian friends who, for the most part, the lipstick lesbians say they've had a pretty reasonable experience because they are feminine. They're all, in fact, they're smoking hot, I've got to say. So are a lot of my masculine lesbian friends. But because they present in a more masculine fashion, they've copped a lot of shit too. So you've got a shared experience, but different as well. And it'd be good to have this discussion because I think it's amazing when conversations are happening that you see change occurring and awareness spreading. But the only comments I wanted to, because I didn't really listen to, I jumped off listening to Makeup Monster. I was bouncing between her and Mallory because I was like, how's Mallory going to respond to this stuff? And then I'd go back. But then that Steph girl jumped up on Makeup Mobster's panel and she seems to be the authority on everything. Where the fuck did she come from? Like, she's pretty new to the community, isn't she? And I found it really funny because she was saying that Mallory, this Steph girl said something like, Mallory came out of nowhere and is suddenly, sprouting off all these opinions. And I'm thinking, well, that's what you're doing. And you did come out of nowhere. Like, I've known about Mallory since the day I found YouTube lives. Mallory was talked about a lot when I first came to YouTube, the live side of YouTube, not back in the day when we listened to, music and watched cat videos. I've known about Mallory for a long time. She hasn't just come out of nowhere, but Steph, you have. Hasn't she? Or someone correct me. If she was somebody with a different name and she's been around for the last 3 or 4 years, let me know. Because, anyway. Hey, Morgan. Good to see you, Gorgeois. you would have friends of all shapes. It's like, I do too. I mean, I've travelled the world and I mingle in quirky communities because, and when I'm saying quirky, like, I like variety in the people I hang out with, you know. I don't just hang out with people who work in the same profession as me. I've collected friends and I've done so many different jobs in my life and I've lived in so many different places. I love the variety and I love bringing in my real life that variety together. So when I have birthday parties and stuff, I invite people from lots of different social groups that I mingle in and introduce them all. And it's lovely to see. I mean, the fact that I'm friends with all of them, there's a common denominator. Like attracts like, but it's lovely throwing this mix of people together. And I feel like this community on YouTube's sort of the same because there's bits of all over the place in our chats. Yeah, Steph is new. I thought so. But yeah, love has been around forever. If Steph is the brains of the ponies are in trouble because she's very mouthy and she say a lot of things that's like you're actually talking about yourself, like pot, kettle, black, hello. And yeah, to say, oh, Mallory's just come from nowhere and has all these things to say. Well, Mallory is one of the first people I heard being talked about a lot when I first came to the YouTube world. And so much so that I went on a little hunt to find her and find out more about her. Steph, I don't know, she just sort of arrived on the scene, seems to be an authority on a lot of shit, but gets a lot of it wrong, very wrong. But also nobody corrected her. Like, I don't know if chat did, but Makeup Mobster didn't say, oh, no, Mallory's been around for a long time. She was just like, yeah, man. Yeah. I am so sorry to hear that, Verika. Trump really did damage a lot of communities, a lot of marginalised communities, and I'm hoping that mending and healing can commence pretty fucking quickly. But on that, the bit I was listening to was all about protected communities or protected individuals. There's just a couple of things I want to say that made me go, nah. Mallory can hold her own. She responded. I didn't hear all of hers either, but I've paused it because I want to listen to the rest of it. But just a couple of comments that I do want to address. Firstly, freedom of speech. Now, I know a lot of you are going to go, you're Australian, you don't get to talk about this. Well, I fucking do, because do you know what I do? I study and read shit. Nobody is disqualified from partaking in a conversation or expressing an opinion just because they don't live where something happened that they may be talking about. And if you're so big on freedom of speech, then respect mine, motherfuckers. Hey, Beth M. Steph has a sister that's in the makeup community. She's a big channel, so Steph got brought in. Oh, there you go. I didn't know where she came from. I mean, I first kind of heard about her with the whole, well, not the wide-brimmed hats, because I think she used to be in Laura's chat for a while, and she used to have like 2 H's on the end of her name, not one. Tell me if it's somebody completely different. But anyway, she's only been sort of prominent for the last few months, as far as I'm aware. I'll be generous, give her 6 months, but probably the last 3 months is when I've been aware of her. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But thank you for letting me know from whence she came. I'm not saying she should go back there. I'm just saying maybe do a bit of research before you become the mouthpiece for a group of people who've been on. If she's the brains of the ponies, that's sad because the other ponies have been around a lot longer. Why aren't they correcting her on some of this shit? All right, I might have to sit down and finish my cuppa and talk about the things I want to talk, and then we'll keep walking and talk about other shit. Because Morgan likes to hear other opinions. So one, some of you know I've been quite vocal about freedom of speech before on my channel because of quite a lot of American creators incorrectly say that America is the only country that has freedom of speech because it's in your constitution, and that's not actually correct. We've got freedom of speech here. We just don't have it in our constitution. We didn't need to put it in there. We've just got it. But we also have the same limitations and restrictions. Hello, beautiful. I love this dog. Guys, look at this dog. Hello. I couldn't get a proper shot of it because what was I going to say? The dog, yeah, 'cause I didn't want to get the owner in the shot. Wow, just wow. Uh-oh. Did you walk on me saying something contentious, Carolina, and you're horrified? Hello, by the way. You helped us get together here. I love Chasing Truth. Yeah, Chasing Truth. Isn't she gorgeous? Isn't she gorgeous? Did you know Just Angel? I know who Just Angel is. I don't know Just Angel. I don't know any of these people. I just like you guys, I just watch shit and go, okay. And in the past, when creators were like, you're not a creator, you don't get to comment, I'd think, well, fuck you, we do, because we're all watching you. It's no different to all of us sitting around watching Survivor and then chatting about it when the credits are rolling or in the ad breaks, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a YouTube creator to have an opinion about other YouTube channels. Fuck off. And I used to not say anything because I was like, oh, I don't want to get caught up in this shit. But now I'm like, well, maybe it's okay to have a few people expressing their opinions. Oh, the view, Caroline, isn't it gorgeous? There was a massive fog when I set up the live and the sun came up, well, a bit higher in the sky and it's really warm. And the fog is pretty much almost, I mean, there's still a bit over there. But this whole beach was shrouded in fog. And I thought, how cool, we'll go for a walk and we won't even be able to see more than a few feet in front of us. But it dissipated so quickly. It's pretty. So the fog was clickbait. It wasn't. There's fog at the start, I promise you. And that horizon, all along the horizon, that's fog. It's travelling out to the oceans. Oh, Mel, good morning, beautiful. What a treat to have you with me at 10 a.m. I suspect you're about to say I'm going back to bed. Look at all these pretty shells. Look, guys. Look. Oh, Marika, I know we all get a bit paranoid on the YouTubes. It's all right. This community's pretty safe. I have people from all over YouTube that drop in here, and even if they're, on different sides, they still seem to manage to be decent and get on well with each other in here. And like I was saying to Scout, when she realised she has a wrench, that if there's direct attacks and they're obvious attacks going on in chat against other people in chat, time them out. But if it looks like they might be joking or the other person responds with a smiley face, don't time them out. Not everyone gets Australian humour. I've found a lot of my Australian subs will crack a joke and a few people get a bit butthurt about it. And it's just, we're fluent in sarcasm and not everybody else is, So, now we've got a border collie on the beach. Oh my God, look at it go. Go, puppy, go. So look, Morgan, she doesn't even remember having to use her wrench in here. How long have I had my channel? I started going live in 2018, which I think was the same year you could go live on YouTube. I've had my channel since 2013, but back then I wasn't uploading content or anything. I was just watching, music videos and funny animal clips and cooking channels and stuff like that. I haven't actually watched Chasing Truth for ages. I haven't watched anyone for ages. I mean, he just all corrected me and said, oh, that shit happened 3 days ago. I was like, oh, I thought this was all hot off the press. Let me just sit for a second. I want to finish my coffee and just finish my comments about Makeup Mobster versus um, Mallory, Lovers Inc. Oh no, Karen. Oh, Karen. I'm so sorry. I keep crying about Biscuit. She only died in February, and it's just the pain is unbearable. Like, I'll just be pottering around at home and start doing something. And Sunny's gorgeous, and I love her, and she's loving on me, and it's all very beautiful. But I'll just be doing something in the house, and suddenly I just get this intense pain, deep pain, and just the tears just start flowing. It's the worst. Just remember, you gave that dog the best life, and that beautiful animal knew every day of its life how loved it was and tried its hardest to let you know how much it loved you. And you've got to be proud that you did that. Doesn't change how the pain is or anything like that at all. But anyone who has pets and who just pours love over them and does everything to give them the best life imaginable, be proud of that. And also, oh, she could read your mind. I'm really sad for you. I'm going to start crying. Do you know what, though? There's so many beautiful people in my chat that own pets. Morgan's grieving too for an beautiful animal in her world. You will get so much love in here, Karen. So just keep coming back whenever you need to, because there's a lot of hugs and love floating around in our chat. Mel's almost like the Dr. Doolittle of, well, she is, of our community. She's rescued lizards. She holds lizards and pulls ticks off them. It's unbelievable. And she's rescued baby budgies and from like little tiny, featherless critters straight out of the egg kind of stuff. And she's got a menagerie of floofs, and we're a very strong animal loving community here. One of my mods is Stop Animal Cruelty. Like, we're all very passionate about animals in this chat. So please come back anytime for love and support. Absolutely, Morgan. I love it when anyone in our community opens up about having a bad day or they're missing a beloved pet or a family member or whatever, and just seeing how everyone else gives you some love and attention. There's so many other chats where people just go, oh, way to derail the chat, and then they feel awful. And it's like, we all come here to be entertained, but we come here for support too. Like, if we've made friends on here and if there's creators that are gentle and welcoming, then you should be able to pour your heart out. The only time I have problems with people derailing a chat is when there's a creator who's live and they're pouring their heart out about something that's really personal to them, and they're actually seeking some support, and people in chat are almost playing the, who's in more pain Olympics. I think sometimes read the room, and sometimes there is a creator or someone on panel or even in chat that might need a bit more TLC in that point in time. But it doesn't happen very often. You kind of know now, there's a few people on YouTube, they rock up in chat and you're like, they're just going to derail the whole conversation. In fact, someone was mentioned in chat just before who kind of became prominent on YouTube just by doing that, by rocking up into chats and making it all about themselves. Now, I just want to go back up. I just left out taking a golf ball size lump of shit off a baby pigeon. I wasn't aware of that, but I will now need to investigate. Beth, my daughter just adopted a cat, Captain Cream Puff. Cute. One of the girls who works in the building with me has got a cat called Captain, and she's a black cat who was born with only one eye, and she's absolutely beautiful. And her name is Captain. Cute, hey. Morgan, that's the problem. The clip's not taking the whole conversation into account. Yeah, they're criticised a lot for that, but I think clip channels at the end of the day are just trying to show you an excerpt of what happened, and if you're really into it, you should go and watch that live to get the whole context. And sometimes those lives have been taken out because what the clip shows is somebody was way out of line and said stuff that was inappropriate, and I don't think you need the context for that. Like if somebody says something that's reprehensible, and it's clear as mud that they were out of line. But I don't look at clip channels as providing the whole story. And clip channels, you know, they get accused of not being neutral. Well, they didn't claim to be. They're clipping channels that they watch. If they all happen to be from the same community, well, that's clearly where that clip channel hangs out. You know what I mean? I like them for a little tidbit, and if they inspire me to investigate further, I'll go off and look for the live and have a bit of a listen and get the context. But I don't expect clip channels to give you the full story, because the only way you'll get that is to watch the live where it came from, where the clip came from. But in terms of just like scanning online and getting the headlines, that's kind of what a clip channel is to me. It's like, there's the headlines. If it interests you, read the article. And on YouTube, reading the article means go to that channel and have a little listen. But that's just me, maybe. I don't think it is. But the people who only watch the clip channel and don't do any further investigation and run with what was on the clip channel, they're the problem, not the clip channel. But they're also the first to say, that clip channel's biased. It's like, yeah, but you're not even, like, investigating further, which is why I really want to just nail these little issues about, well, maybe I won't. I was going to talk about it's important to me. Look, I'll read chat for a sec, but I do just remind me to talk about a couple of comments that Makeup Mobster made that I think are really harmful to us all moving forward in learning and understanding trans issues and how to approach them. I just think she made a couple of comments that were really fucking naive and dangerous. But like I said, Lovers Inc.'s probably addressed them all, and Lovers Inc. is the one to address them all. But there were a couple of things I didn't hear Lovers Inc. addressing. They may come later because I didn't finish watching her live. But in fact, I'll deal with them right now because there's not much to say. Freedom of speech can wait for another day. Oh no, sorry, that can't. Freedom of speech is in your constitution, but like freedom of speech the world over in countries where it's not in their constitution, freedom of speech does come with some restrictions, and hate speech is one of them. So stop saying that people are allowed to express their opinions, they've got freedom of speech. If it's a hateful opinion, it is actually not part of freedom of speech. There are some restrictions and exceptions, and hate speech is one of them. That's the first thing I wanted to say, and that applies in the US of A as well. Secondly, it is not okay to say that Mallory's mother gave birth to a man. Now, Mallory handled it really well. You know, yeah, my mum gave birth to a fully grown dude. No, Mallory was not born a man. She was born a baby girl in a baby boy's body, just like she said. So stop saying that. And thirdly, Makeup Mobster, you said that Mallory decided to become a woman. No, she already was a fucking woman. You do not decide to change your gender and the way that you feel inside. It's not something that you can choose. It's the way you were born. Nobody wakes up one morning and goes, today I'm going to be trans. You're either trans or you're not. And to say that, oh, she decided to become a woman, fuck you. No, she didn't. She was born a girl. She is a woman now. Full stop. Get the wordage right. And just on that too, for anyone who's like, no, people do choose. Really? Really? You are shitting me. If you have any experience with any trans person or any gay person in your life, any LGBTQI person, not one of them would have chosen to be LGBTQI. Not one. Not one that I know. It's a tough fucking life. You get dumped with so much shit that every other person on the planet that doesn't fall into those communities has to deal with ever. Nobody would choose it. My gay male friends didn't choose to be gay, so they'd get beaten up. Georgie didn't choose to be trans, so she'd get bullied out of 5 schools before her parents could find a school where nobody bullied her. Who would choose it? Stop saying she chose to become a woman. She is a woman. She was born female. Full stop. Oh, my God. Listen to me ranting. There are just little comments that people can make that are so damaging, and that's one of them. Get it through your heads. Trans people and the gender that they relate to is born. That's how they're born. They didn't choose it. If you can find me one person on the planet who chose to be trans or gay, I will give you, I don't know, my keep cup with cold coffee in it. I don't know. You won't find one. It's fucking ridiculous. It's not a choice. It's just the way they're born. Full stop. That simple. All right. Rant over. Let's go back to chat. Beth has 2 cats right now. Cute. Karen, I'm thrilled that you are here. I only went to DC out of bordering. I'm too sensitive for this DC. Yeah, me too. Me too. I didn't. DC is not how I found YouTube. It was true crime, but now they've kind of melded and merged a bit. I might just go to the bottom of my chat and see if anyone. Exactly, Trixie. I nearly said that. Yeah, like people choosing to be black. When white people go, I'm so sick of Black Lives Matter. If you're black, you wouldn't be. So shut the fuck up. Full stop. Unbelievable. There is nothing worse than a white person, or any person actually. This isn't a colour issue. I won't make this racist, although the same applies. There's nothing worse than a person that isn't actually living in someone else's shoes, who hasn't put themselves in that person's shoes and listened to them talking about their life experiences and how they want to be addressed and how their life makes them feel, telling that person how it is. No, 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 no. Listen to people who are living in that coloured skin or in that gender and hear what they have to say and learn from them. Your freedom of speech doesn't extend to you being a fuckwit. I'm sorry. Well, actually, it clearly does. But if it's hate speech, sorry. Hate speech is not part of freedom of speech. You can't be an asshole and then go, oh, freedom of speech. No, 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 no. Let me scroll up a bit. Um, Oh, you're on the school run. See, Mamo, I think you're probably already gone, but love you, girl. I miss you too. Um, Oh, I've missed heaps of chat and it looks quite funny. Did I say click channels? You hear whatever you want to, Morgan. Oh, Mel Mel. Um, it is a lovely, diverse group, Trixie. It is. Okay. The tears, don't try and get rid of them, Karen. Let them flow freely. It does make you feel better. It does. I mean, oh God, there's some great waves out there. I did feel like a bit of a cockhead when I burst into tears about Biscuit in the first week of my new job. I was like, I'm so sorry about this cat death thing. Is really bugging me. But let him out. Hey, Raven. Baruka, I used to have my first name and pick for my account, but realised that doxing is real. I have a career that could be derailed from negative reviews. Yeah, look, I my channel on YouTube was originally my real name. I wasn't naive. I was using my channel to promote my stand-up comedy, and that was the name I used on stage. But suddenly all these Americans were like, change your name because you're going to get doxxed. I was like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. There are so many people in my chat who we all met. We all know each other's full names because we all came to YouTube with our full name. But yeah, a bit of anonymity on YouTube is the way to go. But then so many YouTube creators dismiss people that don't have their, real photos and stuff and go, well, you're just a troll. I hate that too. Oh, I just used the hate word. That annoys me too. Like, on the one hand, they're saying, keep your information private and safe or you'll be doxxed. And then when you do that, they're like, you don't use a real photo or a real name, you're a troll. Well, which one is it? You know? Morning. Yeah, YouTubers doing a good thing, putting a bit of comedy and humour into the shit that be going on. YouTubers also really capable of admitting when they're wrong, which is a really appealing character trait. Um, Shame others don't exhibit that sort of humility on YouTube. Um, which brings me to another point that Steph girl made that everyone in Makeup Mobsters chat was like, oh my God, that's terrible, was that Steph told Makeup Mobsters chat when she was on panel that Mallory had said, put pedo supporter on a T-shirt and wear it with pride. And Mallory did not say that. And that was cleared up on YouTube a while ago. And Steph was there saying that it's been established very clearly that it was never said. And she's there with her fake news. And not all of the chat, but people in chat were like, oh my God, that's terrible. And so now there's a whole new group of people that believe Mallory said that. This is where YouTube is so fucked up. But again, I feel that the people in chat have a bit of a responsibility to themselves to check out if what they're listening to is true or not. It's so scary that so many people on YouTube listen to something and believe it and they don't even look at the other side. They don't seek the truth, which is why I was bouncing between Makeup Mobsters and Mallory's. And but there are a few things that said that I was like, that's really damaging to a community. You should reword things a little bit. But that Steph chick said the comment about put pedo supporter on a T-shirt and wear it with pride. Mallory never said that. But now there's a whole new heap of people who watched that live a few days ago. I thought it was yesterday, but I was corrected that I'm way behind in YouTube's shit. And I'm not bagging whoever did that. I'm not surprised. I haven't been anywhere in YouTube, well, apart from me going live. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But, yeah, that's so dangerous. So now these people that have probably never even seen Mallory or encountered Mallory or Lovers Inc. in their travels thinks that Mallory said that. So there could be this whole new pack of bloody people lighting their torches and grabbing their pitchforks heading off to get Mallory. It's really fucked up. And that stuff's been happening on YouTube since I discovered the world of the YouTube Live. Why don't people call it out? Like, why didn't Makeup Mobster correct Steph on that? Why do people allow that bullshit to be said and not challenged or corrected, so that all these reactionaries in the chat who can't be fucked doing their homework and seeing if it was said or not believe it and spread it? I get it. Some of you don't like certain people on YouTube, but be a decent human being and say, no, that's actually not true. And you shouldn't be saying that because it's been proven and established that that was false or fake news. Like, you're as accountable for your panelist guests. Just because they said it doesn't absolve you from responsibility of clearing up, a lie, a mistruth, a rumor. Like, if you know the real story, nip that fucker in the bud then and there and tell your chat to put down their pitchforks and tell your panelists to do their homework or, reel it in a bit. Just talk about what they know is a fact. Pisses me off. Baruka, I stumbled across an old video the other day and it was amazing how many people used to have their first and last names. Oh, yep. Well, I was one of them. I like the quick channels. I don't like people that take a 5-minute section of a live and jump on live because they're outraged. Yeah, if you're going to do that, you need to do your homework. And I didn't get to the end of Makeup Mobs. I couldn't. I'm sorry. But I heard enough to comment on, and I've already done that. And I haven't got to the end of Mallory's yet, but I want to listen to the rest of it. I'm curious to see what else was said. Mel's trying to derail us. Hi to anyone who's arrived that I haven't said hello to yet. And I'm not walking at the moment because the second we start walking, the sun's going to be on my screen. I won't be able to read chat. So that's why I'm just giving you sweeping views of Tasmania. Mel, nope, it's how you're born. Yeah, back to the trans thing. Yeah, nobody chooses to be trans. So can we stop saying that? Mallory didn't choose to be a woman. Mallory was born female, full stop. Next. Do you think it was right for MGL to ask if she has to stuff her bra? I didn't hear MGL say that, but I know that MGL and Mallory are friends, and I know they rib the fuck out of each other. And without knowing the context, it could have just been mates ribbing each other, or it could have been a really naive comment by MGL, or she could have also just been saying it to try and have a bit of fun. So, yeah, I don't know the context of that, but I do know that they're friends. I heard of Mallory because of MGL, I reckon. I reckon that's when I first heard about Mallory back in 2018. I know they're mates. So, and she might have just been asking for information for the curious. It might have even been almost, a bit of a helping educate people, because it'd be lovely to have, Mallory up on panel just talking about her experiences, her entire life experience. I mean, Georgie, my beautiful goddaughter, she let her mum write a book about it. How do you learn about it? You go to the source and you listen to what they have to say. So I don't know, Beth. I can't really answer that. I don't know if it was right or wrong. I don't know the context of it. But if Mallory didn't burst into tears and fall in a heap right after she said it, then, yeah, it probably was perfectly fine for MGL to say it. Because the only person who should be outraged is Mallory. That's my opinion. But exactly. Who the fuck would choose? That point I made earlier. I don't have a gay friend in my life or a trans friend in my life who was like, you know what? I'm so glad I chose this path for my life to go down. It's been great. I've been beaten to a pulp repeatedly. I've been abused. I've been discriminated against. I've had people say really naive, stupid things about me and my community on YouTube. It's great. So glad I chose. It's like, what the fuck? Sorry, that was sarcasm too, by the way. Anyone who's tuning in. Dude jogging in his little shorty shorts. Good on him. It's not that warm. I mean, it's not cold, but I have a gay niece and I'm very protective of her. Yeah, I'm protective of all of my gay friends and only to, you know, correcting a stupid comment like that one I talked about earlier about Mallory choosing to be a woman. Fuck. But in terms of what Mallory has experienced or what my gay friends have experienced, it's their story to tell. And me as a boring as fuck white cisgender female, it's my job to listen. And if somebody said something incredibly out of line, I'd be like, I'd really like you to have a conversation with my friend and make that happen so that they could listen and learn. I wouldn't be the mouthpiece on their behalf. But there are some things that I know they've experienced in their lifetimes, and just pointing out that to choose to be LGBTQI is the most ridiculous statement you could ever make. I'm sorry I'm so behind in chat. Yeah, ditto, Veruca. I think it was a bit of ribbing between some friends, but like I said, I don't know. Yeah, someone saying they choose to be black. Exactly. Oh, shit, now I'm right down the bottom. Um, hey, Gone Girl. Hi to anyone else that's come and gone. Oh, now chat's frozen. What the hell? Hey, Punished Dad. Hi, Val. Oh, you got your shot. Yeah, your arm will be sore for a few days, apparently. Oh, God, there's a whole heap of people I've missed. Hi, everybody. We're down here for you, Gone Girl, as you know. No, you can call me Tori. It's on my screen. Look, see? Right there. Yeah, and that's a really good comment, Beth. Like, you know what? It's actually okay to like people on YouTube when they say something you don't like. I've talked about this before on my channel too, about extremes and these sort of what's the word? Absolutes on YouTube. Like, just because, and I've talked about it a lot, just because there's someone on YouTube you may not like, if they do or say something that you agree with, acknowledge it. Just like if there's somebody that you do like, if they say or do something that you think is shit, you can go, that's actually shit. You don't have to write them off completely. And I started talking a lot about this absolutes on YouTube thing with the Diane's channel stuff because it would have been refreshing for some of the people that sort of stood by Diane, and not that they were condoning what she did, but it would have been good for them to just publicly say that was actually really fucked up, Diane, and not go out of their way to not discuss it at all. Like, it's okay to admit you people that you like are flawed. We're all flawed. This absolutes. And if somebody has a falling out with somebody they were friends with, then suddenly everything about that person they despise and they get really vocal about it. And it's like, hang on a sec, you guys were friends. It's like, I don't know, in my lifetime when I've broken up with a partner, I don't then become this person that talks horribly about them. If I've spent 5 years or 10 years of my life with somebody, there were a shitload of good times. There might have been something towards the end that made us fall apart and break up, and it might have been unpleasant, but it doesn't mean the previous 10 years that had a heap of great stuff in it didn't matter to me anymore. It's like the Jays for Justice stuff. Like, now that a lot of other mods that I was a mod with are no longer modding for her, it was lovely for us all to be able to reconnect. And I did a couple of panels where a lot of us were chatting, but it wasn't going to be a bag the fuck out of Jays for Justice session because, A, I met all of these people through her. a couple of them have become incredibly important people in my life and beautiful friends. And C, I actually had some really good times when I was a mod for Jay. So I wasn't going to just go live and slag the fuck out of her because I'm no longer a mod for her and I'm finally able to talk about it without fear of being abused constantly on YouTube in chats and stuff by her other mods. So why is it different on YouTube? You know, you can fall out with someone but still remember the good times. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom of chat because I feel like you're possibly all onto new subjects and you're like, Tory, catch up. Fucking wonderful for calling Lover a transformer. The thing is, the new people don't know the history. Katie isn't bashing Lover, calling her a transformer, and Lover and Katie are friends. Yeah, and this is it. This is again, you know, that Steph girl. I just think she needs to do some homework, and you know, we all see stuff on YouTube, but I can make fairly generic comments because I kind of follow the channels a bit generically and dip in and out and go hither and thither. And I've unsubscribed from most of them. Like I actually have to type in channel names now to have a listen. They're not in my recommendations thing. But if I hear a channel, like a creator talking about something, like listening to Lovers Inc. talking about something, then I did type in Makeup Mobster and go and have a listen. But when you've got really firm opinions and they're based on lies, or you don't understand the relationships of the people you're talking about using that transformer, because as soon as I started reading your comment, Verika, I'm like, that's Katie's sense of humour. I wasn't fully aware of Katie and Lovers Inc.'s relationship, but she comes up with some funny shit, you know, just like Mallory does. I actually wish Mallory had gone with Makeup Lobster because that cracked me up. But I don't think it'd crack Makeup Mobster up because she didn't like the fart thing. So I don't think she'd like being called Makeup Lobster. But it's perfect. I mean, Makeup Otter, yeah, but it's Mobster, Lobster. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I hope your arm feels better soon, Val. Oh, look at Scout dropping links all over the place. Go you. But are they really friends? That's the question. Well, who fucking knows? I think they're all friends and they all just get in their little Discord and there's this big YouTube contrived drama Discord and they all get in there and schedule the dramas for the week and away they go. But are they really friends? Dun, 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 dun. Hey, and on that, Veruca, like the question about MGL asking Mallory if she stuffs a bra, at the end of the day, the only person whose reaction really matters is Mallory's, you know? If she's not pissed off about it, then we don't need 300 fucking YouTube channels going live, crying outrage and screaming how offensive it is. If Mallory just laughed at it and said, well, clearly you don't, Molly, because you've got more silicon in your tits than Silicon Valley, you know, if Mallory's okay with it, then don't get all outraged on her behalf. When I hear the way someone treats an old friend, that makes my decision for me. If they do it to them, they could do it to me. Exactly, Val. Exactly. Did you guys all have a mum or a dad who used to say to you when you were a kid as well that, you know, if you said, oh, someone was so-and-so was saying something about this person at school and I really like them, and my mum would be like, do you know what, Tori, don't even waste your time with that person because if they're saying nasty things about that person, you can guarantee they're saying nasty stuff about you as well. Great advice, Mum. I've used that throughout my life. The second I meet new people, if they're interested in world issues, local issues, or just enjoying the meal and they're just having a good conversation and they're listening to other people and asking questions, I'll be friends with them for life. But if I meet someone and they're sitting there bitching about another person at the end of the table, I'm like, I ain't keeping in touch with you, motherfucker. Do not need your bad chi. Move on. I think so too. I think a lot of the friendships on here are just for show. And, you know, look at the numbers. What have we got at the moment? 13 amazing people just hanging out on a beach in Tassie having a chat about shit. But if there's any Joma channels that are live right now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 people. And the coin is rolling in. Rolling in. Good figure. Katie used to call Yabba Butch, like her name was Butch. Now an outsider might be like, what the fuck? But they were best friends. Yeah. Mel and I call each other cunt face. And between the two of us, how you going? You cunt, good cunt. And that's just the way we are. Mel was like, no, I'm not like that. I don't say the cunt word as often as you do, Tori. And she's right. But the point is, to an outsider, like if Mel and I just bumped into each other in the street, like, hey, cunt, how the fuck are you? Well, if that happened in Australia, no one would bat an eyelid because it is a term of endearment here at times as well. But if we bumped into each other in the street in America and did that, there would be outrage on our behalfs, even though neither of us is offended, upset, or whatever. You know, once again, why are people so invested in reacting and responding to something that someone says that wasn't even directed at them, and the person who was directed at didn't have a problem with it? Oh, that's right, because they can go live for 3 hours and get 800 people watching and watch the coins roll in. That's right. That's be outraged for other people. Fuck me dead. But if it wasn't for YouTube and this sort of shit, we'd have nothing to talk about. Yeah, we would. There's a smoking hot surfer just next to me. Oh my God. Oh, I think we've covered that, Karen. Yes, I do. That's why I don't trust anyone. Well, I learned that when I used to be a massive X-Files fan. Trust no one. That was my password for years on my computers at home and at work. Trust no one, the way it was spelt on the X-Files. Trust NO number one. Trust no one. That was probably one of the first things that was ever used where a number was used instead of a word, come to think of it. Oh, I've caught up with chat. Well, I haven't. I probably missed a heap of stuff along the way. See, look, Mel, loving it. Loves the cunt word. G'day, cunt. Look at the guy that's waxing his boards listening to me going, oh my God, she's a rude bitch. Yeah, yeah, I am. I loved the X-Files. Oh my, how I loved the X-Files. There was an episode, just going to have a swig of my now lukewarm coffee, but it's still going to taste amazing. That's the beauty of coffee going cold. It just becomes a nice coffee. Cold tea, however, disgusting. One of the episodes of the X-Files, it ended up being like a really massive storyline. It was really important to the whole kind of storyline of the show and all the series and stuff. And now I'm going to have to Google it because I can't remember it. But it happened on my birthday, like it was my birthday, and I was such a huge X-Files fan. And there's really important episode that sort of linked a lot of all the stuff together. And on my birthday, I was like, that's so cool. Oh my God, you got Randy an X-Files top a few weeks ago. I'd love an X-Files top. Unless it's black with a green X. Did you see the surfer? Did you see him? Did you see him? Before he put on his wetsuit, he's got the most incredible tats. Oh my God. He's not a big dude. I like big, tall dudes. But that guy, his tats were like on point. He had like seriously awesome tats all over his chest and his arms. And I had an X-Files David Duchovny calendar in my college dorm. I had David Duchovny, I had a framed. I framed the cover of Rolling Stone with David Duchovny on the cover, and he was topless and wearing these silver metallic skin tight pants. Holy fuck! I had a lot of Rolling Stone covers framed. I don't have them anymore. I've moved states and countries and houses so many times that somewhere along the way I can't remember what I did with them. But yeah, one of them on my wall was the David Duchovny one and the silver pantaloons. Google it, guys. It's an awesome photo. Shit, it's 10 to 11. I've got so much stuff I wanted to do today. Oh, well, I'll get some of it done. It's almost time to make some lunch. So many people in this community are weird. That's why we flocked to YouTube, to feel like a part of something when we didn't necessarily fit in our real life truth or real life community. Or, like me, I came here because I'm already accused of being batshit crazy and kooky, hence the name Traces of Nuts. But it actually makes me feel like one of the more rational people. I mean, don't get me wrong. In my real life, my friends just think I'm a bit kooky. Although my friend Charlie said to me the other day, do you know why I've always loved you? Because you're as mad as I am. And I looked at him and went, I don't know if that's a compliment, mate, but thank you, I guess. I don't know why outgoing people with a sense of humour are instantly labelled mad. We're just having fun just because I haven't stopped playing with my inner child. My life's better because of it. Oh, Kmart, $8. I'll check him out. I'll check him out now, you funk soul brother. Oh, Emily Flotilla has arrived, another new moderator upon my channel. How's your bling? You been polishing it, Em? Morgan, you also have a pillow with Randy's face on it now. So what's your point? She's into the random dudes. Well, I didn't know Kmart still exists. It does in Australia, and according to my American friends who've been to Australia, Australian Kmart shits all. Well, in fact, no. According to my Australian friends who now live in America, Australian Kmart shits all over American Kmart. And if you watch Anne Marie's Life at Home channel, she often takes you on shopping trips and she goes to Kmart quite a lot. You can check it out. Someone's helping you start a channel. That's awesome. Go, you good thing. You're all part of the Tasmanian community, Karen, for sure. For sure. Yeah, Mel's mad as a cut snake. We all are. There's only a few Kmarts. I think there's one in Hawaii, which is where my friend Ange was living at the time that she made that statement. Emily had pics of Paul McCartney and Mark, someone from Paul Revere and the Raiders. Oh, look at you. Beth, I think I'm a little addicted to YouTube. I think we all are. I mean, well, no, I could walk away. I have before. You can have a break and come back 6 months later and it's the same old shit. But I like it. I prefer it now to like listening to podcasts because there's so many channels on YouTube that are just seriously informative and entertaining. And I'm not talking about the drama community or even the majority of the true crime community. I'm talking about other channels that just talk about matters of substance. There are heaps of them out there. And I like that you can participate in their chats and learn shit. So like Dr. Duck Wong is one of my faves if you want to get informed on COVID stuff. He's great. And he's funny and he says fuck a lot, you know. What's not to love? Oh, Emily loves her new bling. Val, you're welcome, dolls. I don't have a yeah, see the Kmart here is amazing. Oh, the stuff you can get at Kmart, my God. I wish they'd had that sort of stuff when I was a uni student. My house as a uni student would have looked very different. I wouldn't have had a TV sitting on a milk crate for starters. And I used to go to all the op shops to get all the stuff for my kitchen, and I did end up getting some great cookware, but I would have had all matchy, gorgeous, trendy kind of stuff if Kmart had been like it was now. And electrical appliances, all of it. Like I paid some, I don't know, $180 or something for one of those NutriBullets years ago. And then a couple of years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, Kmart had these $15 smoothie blenders. Best smoothie blenders I've ever had. I bought one for when I was going to Adelaide all the time for work that stayed over there, and I've got one here. And my NutriBullet, long gone, little fucking motor blew up, and that was the end of that. But just so my new wrenchers know, we don't have a mod chat. When I get a community page, I'll just put my mod guidelines on there. They're very small. I don't like any hate speech or racist, sexist, just anything like that. They just get blocked. No time for that. Funny trolls, let them stay. Love them, love them, love them. The more the merrier. Bring it on. We have so much fun with our trolls in this channel. But if there are people in chat that are being absolute assholes to me and it's not humour, they can be timed out. If they have a crack at my panellists, they can be timed out. If they have a crack at other people in chat, they can be timed out. Both of them. If there's a fight going on, there's no protected species on my channel. Just don't want it. Go fight somewhere else. So just time them out and let them have a good hard look at themselves for 5 minutes or whatever it is. And if they come back and they're still fighting, time them out again. And that's really all you got to do. But if someone says something and you're like, oh, that's a nasty comment, it might be humour, and I'd prefer it if you didn't time them out. So I'd prefer it if somebody says something and, if someone just comes in and says all Tasmanians are fuckwits, and it's just a blatant hate comment, I wouldn't mind you leaving that one. But if someone just says something really blatantly racist, for example, there's no question, block them. But if someone comes in and says something, see how chat reacts. And if half of chat are laughing at it, then it's clearly a joke that some of the people in chat are getting, and let the person explain it. If there's someone that gets offended, let them explain it. Now, if they say, no, I meant it, I'm serious, I meant it to be mean, well, then time them out. But don't, if you see something you find offensive, it might just be a lame-ass sarcastic comment. I hope you know what I mean. When in doubt, just leave it there and see what happens. But that's really all you've got to do. Okay, sweet dreams, sunshine. But yeah, that's really, again, love to egg as always. But that's really all you got to do is my mods. I just don't want any hate speech, and I don't want anyone abusing the crap out of me or my panelists, or anyone in chat. That's really it. Just if they're nice, if they're decent, leave them. But if they're trying to be funny, they might not be reading the room very well. See how people react. I'm going to be on, yeah, I usually, although Morgan, you're getting pretty fluent in Aussie sarcasm and dry humour. I'm going to be on Finn Bugden's tonight. He's asked me to do some research and find some stuff to talk about, and I haven't yet, but I will, hopefully. I've got one idea which you'll probably be horrified with because he wants to do some intelligent discussion, but I'm the playful, out of control, winging it kind of panelist with him. So if you want to hang out with us, we're going live at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So punch that into your Google machine, say when it's 8 p.m. AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time, what time is it in, and then punch into your city and come over to Finn's and hang out. I was going to go for a bit of a stroll. I'll go for a little one. I'm running out of battery. I didn't charge my phone before I came down here. I've got 30%. Thank you, Morgan. He never sets reminders. Well, he does, but usually like an hour before we go live. But peeps can just subscribe to him. He's doing some amazing stuff. Like he covers a lot of American topics and has a lot of Americans up on his panel. He had a UFO dude on the other day. I reckon you guys would find some of the stuff that he does pretty interesting. He's got the ability to track down sort of contentious people and get them up on his panel. It's really interesting. Some of it goes way over the top of my head too. He's very smart, Finn. I mean, I'd probably understand it if it was something I was into and I'd read up on it and whatever, but yeah, you might find some good stuff on there. Oh, let's go for a little leg stretch. See if there's anything else anyone wants to. Oh, the screen, I can't read it this way. We have to go back this way again. Oh, hang on. So I can read the screen facing this way. Thanks for subbing to Finn. He is a smart dude. He's great too. When he laughs, he sounds like a dolphin. But we have a bit of fun. We just kind of hang out. So chat sometimes talks about something and we go with that. But, sometimes we might be talking about the media bargaining code in Australia and YouTube and social media and all of that sort of stuff. And then we might jump to something else. But I've got an idea for something to do with him if he's in the right frame of mind. Could be fun. But I have to do a bit of work this afternoon and find some things for us to talk about. And I've got a few people to contact, and I've got to pay my car registration, do some cooking, hang out with Sunny, Bo Bunny. It's a perfect Friday for me. I love pottering around at home. I'm going to make a quiche. I probably could go down to the post office and check if I've got any mail. I don't think I've checked my mail for a couple of weeks now. It's so different now that, all of our bills are electronic. Like you used to have to go to the post office to get your mail with all of your bills, but these days it's all online. Oh, I better check Aurora. God, it's beautiful down here, guys. I'm glad the fog would have been fun, but when the sun made the fog go away, it's just gorgeous. And my feet are not even remotely reacting to the water now. It's I wouldn't call it warm, but it's not like winter water where I'm like, fuck. Yeah, you haven't mailed a check in years. I know, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we are on. Oh, that would have been, no, we're on in 9 hours. That would have been smarter. I should have just looked at my clock on my phone and said, 9 hours from now, we'll be live. We're a very positive channel here. Oh, Sunny girl. Yeah, follow Sunny on Insta, although I've been really slack. It's hard to get photos of her. Biscuit was just such a poser. Like she just lie on her back, in the sun on the deck and stuff. But Sunny's a zoomer or she's curled up asleep. There's not a lot of in between. I'll try and get some more pictures up. Biscuit, I put a picture up every day pretty much, not on Instagram at the end, but because there was a group on Facebook where I would do a daily photo. But yeah, I need to get on with promoting Sunny. She's so gorgeous. She's started to be my little alarm clock. She comes in and gets on the bed and just goes, meow. It's very cute. Because the days I go to work, most days I get up the same time. But if I'm not out of bed and it's the time I'm usually up, she comes in and she's like, meow. It's cute. Sunny is gorgeous. You love quiche, Trixie? I'm making a tomato and basil one. I bought the ingredients the other day. I was going to make one for my sister-in-law and niece. They were coming down for lunch and then they ended up going back into quarantine for 5 days. So I didn't make it, but I've got all the ingredients. So I'm going to make a tomato and basil and leek quiche. It's super yummy. And I'll have it to, have for lunches and stuff over the next few days. And because I've got a bit on this weekend. Tomorrow we've got an election here, so I've got to go and vote and get my democracy sausage. We have like sausage sizzles at our polling booths. So I'll get my democracy sausage. And then I've got a friend in a band. His band's playing tomorrow night. I'm back here again. So I'm actually busting to go to the loo. I was walking along thinking the further away you walk, the further it is to get back home to the loo. I'll start doing some stuff on Smooth Criminal too. Thanks for promoting that channel. It's growing. The subs are growing, but I haven't put anything on there, so I will. Emily, yeah, you might catch a bit of Finn over your morning coffee. She's so cute. Sunny is very cute. Cats are little alarm clocks. Oh, Chili Chacha. It's so cute when you wake up to their little faces. One thing that I love, and I was telling my sister about it the other day, and she said she's the same with her dog, Jackie Chan, is because it's dark in the morning now, when they come in and you turn the light on, they get the little squinty eyes because of the light coming on. Oh, my God, it melts my heart. Sunny's little face all screwed up. And Jackie Chan does the same thing. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, I haven't got everything set up in my kitchen to make the quiche. Otherwise, I'd go live because it's a ripper. It's a great quiche. And, if you want some bacon or whatever in it, you can chuck all of that in, but I just make it vegetarian. But it's got like a really creamy sauce with all the leeks and everything, and then it's got tomatoes, and you peel the skin and then dip them in olive oil, I think, or something, and then you roll them in the basil that you've chopped up. So it's so pretty. I can't really describe it. It's gorgeous. Jackie Chan. And my sister's actually invited me to her place tomorrow too to catch up with her and my sister-in-law, but because it's election day and then I've got to go into town to see Rick in his band, and I'm catching up with a heap of people that work in the building that I work in and a few friends. It's a lot of driving around, so I probably won't go to my sister's. And then Sunday, I was planning on going live and doing some cooking. Oh, it's a yummy quiche too. The recipe has a short crust pastry, and I can make short crust pastry, but this recipe book, which is like my mum's, actually I think I bought this one, but it's Women's Weekly, which was an Australian magazine, And they used to put out these amazing cookbooks, and my grandmothers had them as well. So I've got a lot of my grandmothers and my mum's, and also I bought this one, I think, for myself. But on the same page is a recipe for a leek quiche, and that one they use phyllo pastry. They don't use a short crust. And years ago I was making this tomato and basil quiche, and I was like, fuck it, let's just try it with a phyllo base. And oh my God, it's so good. And it's really pretty because I have all these sort of shards of phyllo pastry shooting up out of it. So it looks really pretty, but it's I don't know, I prefer the phyllo pastry to the short crust. Have I got my community page yet, Scout Inquirer? I've got a great social life. Thank you. I'm doing a lot of stuff at the moment. I'm trying to think. I think I've got something to do on Sunday as well. And then Monday, my sister-in-law is coming down to my place for lunch. She and Lily are going back to Singapore fairly soon. So I've got them coming for lunch on Monday. And then I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm catching up again with my friend who's down from Queensland. I've got a lot on at the moment. It's fun. Oh, have I got it? Oh, my God. I know, I think it's 1,090. It's not one, like I'm not 100 away from 2,000 subscribers. I think it's 1,090. It's crazy, isn't it? So it's arrived. That's happened in the last few days. Woohoo. I can't believe you haven't said anything on your community page. Well, I didn't know I had it. See, that's how little I've been on the tubes. Like I've been saying the last few weeks since I started this job, the days that I'm working, it's pretty much work, get home, cook dinner, feed Sonny, cook dinner, watch MasterChef, go to bed, get up and do it all over again. Woohoo, I've got a community page. Oh, my God. Be prepared. You're going to see a lot of photos of Sonny. I don't know what else to put on it, but well, I didn't know I had it. Scout. I would have put something on it if I'd known. Trust me, there'll be something on it very soon. There might be a photo of the quiche that I make. I almost feel like I should. Who said they were scared of making quiche? I almost feel like I should go live and make it, show you how to make it. It's easy. Quiches are easy. It's just a lot of things that you mix together in jugs and pour it onto the base and chuck it in the oven and boom. I think a lot of people are scared of short crust ones because you've got to do that, what's the word, blind bake, where you put the pastry in and then you put in all the baking marbles and you bake that and then you take it out and you let it cool down and then you fill it. But I'm pretty sure when I do the phyllo one, it all just gets chucked in together. There's no blind baking. Thank you, Scout. I'm excited. My little 10-year-old roommate said he had a nightmare the other night, and it must have been because he watched Chopped, the cooking show. No MasterChef. No, well, no. Thank you. I'm very excited. I'm going to muck around with that today. Pie crusts don't scare me. But yeah, I don't know if I'll go live. I might just make it, but make a video of me making it. I might just take still photos and write the recipe as I go and make a little video with some music under it. That might be my little project today because I want to start making some more things. And I'm going to be live tonight with Finn, and I've been live for an hour and 39 minutes. thank you to everyone who came in. There's still some mist happening across there. Can't fully see the horizon. The fog is heading out to sea. Hopefully Sunny makes a cameo. I used to give my cat Oliver and my cat Biscuit eggs, and they loved them. It's really good for their coats, apparently. But I dropped an egg in the kitchen the other day, and I expected Sunny to race over there and hoover it up, and she wasn't remotely interested in it. Blue sky ahead. It's a gorgeous day down here. There's quite a few surfers out now. And look at that view that way with a bit of the reeds and, oh, I love this place. But yeah, I might, I'll do a video of the quiche, and because it'll be fun for me. I've got to learn because I want to upload some videos, some cooking videos. And I'm going to go live on Sunday and do some cooking and meal prepping for the week. And I'm going back on keto/low carb for a couple of months because I just loved the energy and my focus, and because this job is so full on. It's like it's a perfect time for me to do that again. I'm really weird. Like, a lot of people go crazy and diet and everything, right, and heading into summer. But I'm like, nah, summer's all about eating and drinking. I'm not that I'm a drinker, but there's a lot of seafood banquets and shit like that happening over summer, Christmas Day, all of that stuff. My birthday. So for me, winter's when I get all into the healthy eating. And I mean, I eat healthily in summer too, but I just eat a lot more than I should. You know, I really don't need to eat a dozen oysters before I eat a seafood main course. But, oh, yes, in summer I do. Whereas in winter, half a dozen oysters would probably be, you know, enough for a meal. Thank you for coming on my beach walks and beach sits and chats. Thank you to everyone who was here earlier. Thank you to anyone who watches the replay. And in summary, I guess, just with YouTube, guys, clip channels are not necessarily biased. They're just clipping channels they watch. If you see something on a clip channel that intrigues you, go and look at the live that it came from. If you're going to spout off pretty stern opinions about things, check both sides of the story, and the truth will be somewhere in the middle. Don't repeat stories on YouTube that are really horrible and have been corrected and proven to be bullshit, and share that horrible story again, because you're firing up people. Hey, John. You're firing up people and they're going to grab their little pitchforks and go after somebody, and it's an absolute lie and you shouldn't be spreading it. And if you are spreading shit like that on a panel and the creator knows it's bullshit, they should be calling it out and saying, actually, no, you're wrong. If you're going to talk about trans people, show them some fucking respect. They don't choose it. That's how they're born. It's really important for us to have that conversation. It's fantastic. The conversation's been happening for a long time now. It wasn't for the first half of my transgender goddaughter's life, but it is now. She's 20. And just listen to trans people and learn the right way to say things. Nobody chooses it. It's how you're born. Full stop. But, yeah, you've got your trans grandchild and I've got my trans goddaughter. And actually, Emily, you might want to rewind it, because I addressed... I didn't realise these were lives that happened a few days ago, but I addressed Makeup Mobsters chat or live, talking about Lovers Inc. and I listened to both of them backwards and forwards, and I ended up I couldn't listen to Makeup Mobsters anymore, and I want to finish listening to Lovers Inc. But some really dumb things were said, and one of them was that Mallory was born a man, and Mallory responded to that beautifully by saying, yeah, my mum gave birth to a fully grown adult man. But secondly, unfortunately, Makeup Mobster also said that Mallory chose to become a woman. No, she always was female. Something just got mixed up in the womb and she was not born in the body she should have been born in. That's all that happened. But I talk about my goddaughter who brought about some changes in Australian legislation and is also very heavily awarded already. She's got an Order of Australia medal, which most people don't get till they retire. You know, it sort of goes to long-serving members of the community that do amazing stuff. And she got it before she was 20. She was also Young Victorian of the Year. Georgie Stone, her name is. And her mum wrote a fantastic book about her experience too, to help, you know, educate people. But yeah, if you hear something on YouTube and you're like, ooh, listen to the other side, do some homework, then have a little chat about it. But YouTube creators, you have a responsibility to the community. If your panel guest says something that's wrong and you know it, I think you've got a responsibility to say that's wrong. Don't let these bloody things get spread. Mallory never said, put pedo supporter on a T-shirt and wear it with pride. Yet in the last few days, one of Makeup Mobster's panellists repeated that bullshit. And now there's a whole new group of people who've heard it for the first time who are outraged. And that stuff spreads like wildfire on YouTube. I agree, Morgan. Yep, the clip channels that drop the link so you can go and have a listen. I mean, some of those lives do get taken down, but you'll often find, oops, sorry, I'm putting my shoes on, that's why I'm wobbly. You'll also find, though, if you bother to read the comments under the clip channel, there's a lot of elaboration on the story and what actually happened and a bit of an insight into the context of it all. But clip channels aren't making out that they're giving you the full story. They're giving you a clip. It's like a little teaser, a little promo of something that's happened. If you're going to form an opinion, you've got the opportunity to go and have a listen to see what actually happened and get the context, you know? Yes, straight people, for sure. I mean, I can't believe how boring a person I am. I'm a bloody white, middle-aged female who's straight. There's nothing interesting about me at all. I kind of wish I was a little bit more colourful. I wish I had a bit of rainbow in my life. But I'm preaching to the converted. You guys are all smart cookies. But sometimes it's good for us to just come down to the beach and get it out of our systems. And on the freedom of speech thing, stop using that as a defence for your shitty opinions, because that is not what freedom of speech is about. There are restrictions and exclusions, and hate speech is one of them. So you can't be an asshole and say something horrible and then go, I'm exercising my freedom of rights, freedom of speech rights. No, you need to do your homework. And just because other countries don't have freedom of speech in their constitution, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist in those countries, aka Australia. But we are bound by the same restrictions and limitations on it as Americans are. And hate speech, it does not fall under the freedom of speech umbrella. So don't use that as a defence to your shitty, ill-informed opinions. Nobody's interfering with your freedom of speech rights because hate speech isn't included in the definition of freedom of speech. We're boring, Morgan. Okay, come up the dunes with me and listen to how unfit I am. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Obviously, everyone wants more sunny, so the first community post will probably be Sunny making the announcement that her stupid human didn't even realise the community page. The last time I checked my channel, which was, I don't know, maybe Monday, I still didn't have it. I got monetised before I got my community page, which is kind of weird. I haven't put in any tax info or anything like that, so I still haven't, like, although I've qualified to be monetised, I haven't done, stopping to reach out, my glasses are fogged up. Yeah, freedom of speech comes with responsibility. And, you know, you only have to jump onto the United Nations website to learn what freedom of speech restrictions are. Oh my God, battle bots. I know Morgan has never been backwards in coming forwards about why she liked my channel. It was always Biscuit. God, thank God Sonny came along. I would have lost you. What was that show? It wasn't BattleBots, but it was an English show where they used to make robots and they put them in the little arena to fight. And the TV show had, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 robots that they'd go up against. And they'd interview like this dorky father and son from Essex in the UK, and they'd be talking about how long it took them to build the robot and all the research they'd done and everything else. And then it'd get put in the arena, and the TV show's robot, whichever one they chose, like one of them had a circular saw on it, another one had like a pickaxe on it. And these things had come out into the arena, and the little homemade robots, the dad and son would be all, you know, salivating with excitement as their little robots started cruising around the arena. And the TV show's robot had come over and raise its little axe, and down it'd go and just split this little thing in two. And the look of absolute disappointment used to crack me up. Sweet dreams, Emily. Good night and sweet dreams to everyone who's going to bed now. For those of you whose days are just starting, have a good one. And for people in Australia, it's lunchtime, guys. Can't believe it. And sorry I didn't deliver much on the fog, but there was a bit at the start. And in my defence, I didn't realise the fog was going to dissipate as quickly as it did. So, my bad. I'm not that... Oh, look at this spider web. It's pretty. Look at it, guys. I don't know if you can see because of the sun. Can you see it now, guys? Yeah, there it is. I still say clickbait, but I'll watch back. Hey, Crystal. Spiderweb, spiderweb. I've got to go and have a look at that tree in my garden. It is covered in spiderwebs. It's weird. It looks like I've decorated for Halloween. Oh, there's heaps of spiderwebs, so it's not just at my place. Look. Can you see that one? This one? This one's pretty. I don't know if you're able to see them or not. But the sun is shining on them, so I can see them, but you don't need to see. None of them have actually got the spiders in them. But they look like the ones that were all over the tree in my garden. All right. One last shot of the beach. Yeah, it might be the cool weather. I don't know. Probably the rain. It's just very weird that I woke up to this full-on fog and all the trees are covered in these really pretty spider webs, but like shitloads. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, but even on this tree, oh, there's another little one just there. But like the whole tree has got webs on it. Hmm. That are sparkling in the sun. It's bizarre. They're really fine. So I don't know. I mean, if you can see things sparkling, like there's a web right there, but they're like strands of spider webs. Heaps of them. So odd. And my tree in my garden is covered in them up the top. All right, Ski. I'm going to end this live up in this spot here. Thanks for hanging out with me, beautiful people. This is hilarious. The audience is so serious. It must be, yeah, it's a similar show by the sounds of it. Cracks me up. Webs are pretty. So's this. But I'm going to go. I've been live for 2 hours. I've got heaps to do. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for letting me vent. And yeah, if the clickbait title lured you in, there is a little bit of fog at the start. I love you guys. Stay groovy and don't get stuck in a spider web. Ooh, 10%. I'm out of here. Love you.